Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here for Love and Marriage Detroit, Season 2, Episode 2. And they're calling this episode the Book of Revelations. Why are they calling the Book of Revelations? Like it's the end of something or the creation of something. What? Ushering in a new creation? Is Jesus coming back? God's about to take over? I have no idea. Maybe it's about the reveal of the baby between Kobe and Russell. But all I do know is they all need to do better. Maybe that's why it's the Book of Revelations. Maybe it's getting ready for the Book of Revelation. You better be ready. You better be ready. And right now, these ladies ain't ready. They're not ready, y'all. They need to do better. I mean, from this new girl, Kimberly, to Latoya, all the way down to Kobe, they need to do better. The only person I'm giving a pass this week is to Christina, because once again, Christina's attacked, and it's just so obvious. It's so obvious. Let me tell you what they need to do better with. First of all, it started back up with this dinner party, and Kimberly coming in with a bad attitude. This girl just got on the show. She only been on here 1.1 episodes. And she already got a nasty attitude, waving her finger, cursing people out, telling people about themselves. And y'all, we finally get to hear what the big old kerfuffle over is. Now, let's remember, these folks, the beef is between Kimberly and Christina. They haven't seen each other for 11 years, haven't talked to each other for 11 years. So like last week, I was wondering, good Lord, what could it be that you would hold a grudge and be mad at someone over for 11 years. I said, dang, did it have to do with your husband? Did the girl flirt with your husband? What happened? Did they attack your kids? What is it that you still got beef with a person you haven't seen in 11 years? And the minute she comes in the door, you ready to pounce on her? Well, we got our answer, y'all. And guess what it is? It's all over an Android phone. I ain't lying. This is petty. Kimberly, you look crazy. You look real crazy. I don't even know why you signed up for this, because you look crazy. You look stupid. You look petty. You look ghetto. You look everything. I don't get this. Y'all, over an Android phone. And here's what makes it worse. It's all over the fact that 11 years ago, Kimberly and her husband had an Android phone. They went to a party that Christina put on. Christina wasn't even at the table, but this Kimberly lady was sitting at the table with some of Christina's friends. Christina's friends, one or two of them, said to, it's just so ridiculous, said to Kimberly, oh, you got an Android phone? What does your husband have? She said, an Android phone. Oh, so maybe y'all made for each other because you both like mediocre. That's it, y'all. That's the beef. Because two of Christina's friends made a joke about she being mediocre because she liked an Android phone. Christina wasn't even at the table. So you mean to tell me you're mad at Christina because two people at Christina's party said something to you that wasn't nice or was a joke that went bad? Really, girl? And this is what you're talking about? And so then she says, oh, that would have never happened at my party. Nobody, none of my friends would have ever spoken to you that way. That's fine, girl, that you mad at the friends. That's fine if they joke wasn't funny to you. That's fine if they was being mean girls. I have no idea. But I don't get how 11 years you holding on to this from Christina. And she said, well, you didn't apologize. Christina said, I did apologize. I told you I'm sorry that happened to you at my party. And the girl, Kimberly, the lady, Kimberly, said, yeah, but you had to go around and poll everybody at the party to see who said it. What's wrong with that? Maybe Christina wanted to confront the women that made you feel bad. What's wrong with that? That's probably what she should do. If a guest comes up to her and says, I had a lousy time at your party because two of your guests were rude and mean to me, of course, Christina should find out who the people were who were mean to you and rude to you so she can confront them and figure it out. But now you mad because Christina did her due diligence to figure out who said it to you. so that she could come back to you and apologize. And now here you are still mad 11 years later. This is petty. This is real petty. Do better, Miss Dubine. Is her name Miss Dubine or Miss Dobine? I'm going to call her Miss Dubine because at this point, I want her to do better. Do better. She started screaming and yelling all at Christina, talking about you phony, you're a liar, you ain't no good friend. This was way too much heat for something that happened 11 years ago over an Android phone. And an Android phone that even ain't in existence today. You fighting over something that's even non-existent, so it really don't make no sense today. Girl, do you have an iPhone now? Do you have an iPhone now? Because if you have an iPhone now, then forget about it. Forget about it. But in all this mess, you know who else needs to do better? Latoya. Because Latoya set up all this messiness. It's pretty clear that Latoya knew Miss Dubine, who needs to do better, had a problem with Christina from 11 years ago over an Android phone. And she brought her to this dinner to cause this mess. Latoya is so petty. And you know what? I'm glad they rolled the tape on her. And I'm glad Christina called her out. Because Christina called her out and said, Latoya, why would you create this? Why would you set this up? And Latoya's like, I don't have nothing to do with this. Girl, you have everything to do with it. You knew that this woman, Kimberly, was off the chain. And she was holding an old beef over an Android phone. And you brought her here to stir up mess. You did. You was petty. And you were like, I can't take Christina down, so I'm going to bring in some reinforcements to take her down this season. That's what you did. And I was so happy they rolled the tape on Messy Latoya talking about, I don't like drama. I don't like fake people. I don't like this. And here she is, season 2, episode 2, bringing all the drama and bringing all the fakeness. Do better, Latoya. Do better, because everybody can see right through you. Right through you. This is not a good look for neither one of these ladies. It ain't a good look for Mr. Dubine, Miss Dubine, Mrs. Dubine, who needs to do better. And it ain't a good look for Latoya either. She looks messy as heck. But after we got that through that debacle, then we had to switch over here to the scene between Russell and Brandon. Last week was all over Brandon's neck about bringing his laundry to Christina to do it while they separated and he living over at his mama's house. You know his mama ain't gonna do his laundry. The mama barely want him there staying with her. Last week, the mama told him he was a project and she could understand why Christina wanted to get rid of him. So you know that mama ain't doing his laundry. And if the mama did do the laundry, she gonna put some bleach into his colors and mess up his clothes. That'll teach him, because that mama's about teaching lessons. Some hard lessons. But Brandon went over here and spilled the beans to Russell, letting Russell know that, hey, me and Christina, we ain't even living in the same house no more. We separated. And he's told a lot more. He said, not only we separated, we've been living like roommates for a long time now. A long time. They've been unhappy for a long time. And I guess they've been trying to hold this marriage together with a shoestring. And now the shoestring has broken. He said he's miserable. He said with all this pressure on him being a black man in America, trying to be a husband, trying to raise a family. And he said he had to go outside his marriage to look for comfort for other places. Brandon, stop blaming it on being a black man in America. Stop blaming it on being a black man in America, because there's tons of them in America and they don't do what you do. But Russell was shook. He was shook. He was crying and everything. And he was trying to comfort Brandon. And he's like, man, I wish there was something I could do for you to make the pain go away. And Brandon says, you just listening to me and, all this and being a good friend, you really gave me what I needed. Brandon needs constant reassurance because, he didn't get none from his mama. So he's hungry for it out here in the world. He's like a cup with a hole in the bottom of it. Christina got her hands full. She got her hands full because Brandon needs a lot of reassurance. He needs a lot of pumping up because he had a big deficit of it with his mother. You could tell. Whatever woman gets with Brandon, whether it's Christina or another woman, they're going to have to do a lot of ego stroking, a lot of it, to make up for all those years Brandon got put down by his mama. When he first came in the gym, he was calling Russell Mr. Universe with all those muscles. Russell started making him do leg presses. And he was like, good Lord, let me tell you a sob story so you can get me off these leg presses. But later on, we find out the real story with Christina and Brandon. We found out their love story last time that it all started with Brandon looking at women at the wedding. It started with Christina basically forcing Brandon to marry her within 6 months because he wanted to have sex with her so bad, and she said she wasn't going to have sex before marriage. So he hurried up and got down on one knee and proposed. And Christina was like, yeah, let me marry you because then I could be marrying a record producer. Maybe you can help get my career started. And she married him so fast, she didn't really get to know him. And once she figured out who he really was, she was like, I don't like you. I'm going to need you to change. And after that, Brandon was like, good, I don't ever really feel accepted. No, you don't. You don't feel accepted. Christina never knew who you really were. And once she figured out who you were, she didn't like you as you are. She needed some change from you. Y'all rushed it. Y'all rushed it way too much. You rushed it to get to her cookies, and she rushed it to get to the altar. So here we are, 2 kids later. Then we find out that Christina over there hurried and rushed and married him because he was a music producer, or he helped artists come to life. Then come to find out, Brandon said, I don't want no wife as no artist. I don't want no artist as no wife. Christina was like, what? That's one of the whole reasons I'm with you, is because I thought you was going to help me become an artist. He said, nah, I seen what artists do out here in the world. They cheat. They around a bunch of men. I don't want that for myself. I might want to cheat, but I don't want you cheating. So he put a hard stop to Christina's career. He said, nope, you can't be no artist because I don't want to be married to no artist. So Christina said she put her career on hold. She said, then Brandon even stopped going to church. Christina like, I didn't get nothing I wanted. I married this man because I wanted to get married. I married him because he was into the church, and I was happy about that. I married him because I thought he could help me with my career to be a recording artist. I get married. He ain't faithful. He ain't going to church, and he shut down my whole doggone career. Christina was like, this is a big old bust. Christina said she had a whole deal with Sony and everything and gave it all up. Gave it all up for Brandon, who said it's hard out here being a black man, being an entrepreneur and providing. And now he say he ain't happy. Could you imagine giving up your whole life for somebody and they turn around and say now they ain't happy? Ooh, that's got to feel horrible. Horrible. And Christina's over here feeling like she's damned if she does, she's damned if she doesn't. If she gives in to Brandon the way he is, she's going to be miserable. And she says if she goes ahead and she gets a divorce or they break up, she's going to be sad too. Well, I guess, Christina, you got to weigh the long-term sadness versus the short-term sadness. Because one thing is for sure, you ain't hardly getting too much out of this deal. You need to get a little bit more out of the deal, Christina. That's for sure. I do remember last time, Christina did talk bad about Brandon. I remember last year, I watched a little bit of the episodes last year, and Christina did have some nasty things to say to Brandon. So I guess you don't realize how sensitive Brandon is coming from a real critical mother. And maybe Christina thought she could whip him into shape, and all that whipping him into shape, all that did was make him turn away more. They got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of work. I hope they can work it out, because I'm like Russell. I would be sad to see a couple break up. They got 2 beautiful young children. I hope they can work it out, but they got a lot of work to do, a lot of work. But Christina says she's going to be emotionally prepared no matter which way the chips may fall. Whether they fall on the side of getting back together or whether they fall on the side of not getting back together. She said she's trying to prepare herself emotionally for either outcomes. I don't know what Brandon's doing. He's going over here trying to talk to Anthony. I don't even know why he told Anthony the secret that him and Christina were having problems. Because why would you tell Anthony that you and your wife are having problems when you already know that Anthony don't give a damn about you? Anthony's the biggest gossiper in the whole city of Detroit. He's messy. He's Mr. Messy in Detroit. Even when Brandon had that little sit down with Anthony, he said, hey, can we really just squash all this stuff from last year? Because it was some petty arguments going on. And Brandon was like, every time I turn around, Anthony, you coming from my neck, you bringing the ops in. Last year, you brought in that man like Reek. Then you tried to bring in people to cut me out of the showcase for the music artists. And then this season, you bringing in this other girl, Kimberly Dobine, who needs to do better. And she coming at the neck of my wife. And it always seems like Anthony and Latoya at the center of some mess. And that's the truth. They at the center of some mess. But he went over there and spilled his secret to messy Anthony and said, hey, but don't tell your wife that we having problems, that I moved out, because I don't want her to use that as ammunition against my wife later on, because I know your wife was at the center of all that messiness at that dinner party, and I don't want her to be running back to messy Dubai, who needs to do better, Kimberly, and coming at my wife even more. And Anthony sat there and said, that's fine, man, I won't say nothing. And then ashy knee Anthony went right home and told his wife that Brandon and Christina are having problems. Him and them ashy knees went right on home and did exactly what Brandon asked him not to do. Give messy Anthony a peach. What they do? What do these women get on this show? You know how the Real Housewives of Atlanta, they get a peach. What they get in Detroit? A Cadillac? Do they still make the Cadillacs in Detroit? Maybe they should hold up. Give Anthony a Cadillac, because he is definitely a part of the messy women's group. When he went on home and told Latoya all the messy news and the gossip, he said, I want to go have a conversation with Christina. Why, Anthony? Why you need to go talk to Christina? Why do you need to personally do that? Maybe the person that needs to go apologize to Christina is Latoya, but Latoya don't want to have nothing to do with it, because she talk about how she want to stay over there. She want to stay over there, but then she want to send her representative, messy Miss Dobine, over to where Christina is to start the mess. You see, Latoya want to hide in the corner and hide her hands. She just want to get the messiness going, and then she want to act like she don't have nothing to do with it. But then she want to send her agent, Kimberly, Miss Messy Dobine, over there to start the mess with Christina. And now her messy husband, Anthony, say, I want to get in it. I don't want to stay on the sidelines, Latoya. I want to get in the middle of it, right in the middle of it. So I'm going to have me a conversation with Christina. And Latoya said, what for? Why you need to talk to her? She like, you know how Christina tells us to stay out their business because we always in their business. Well, you wasn't staying out their business when you was bringing that other woman in the group to bring up something from 11 years ago. You wasn't staying out of it then. You was the orchestrator. That ain't staying out of it, Latoya, when you the orchestrator. Latoya like to come start mess. She came home with a bad attitude. She came home from work talking about she got problems at work. She tired. She tired of managing everybody. And he said, well, who you got to manage? She goes, kids and you. He said, you ain't got to manage me. Yes, she does. That's what she wants to do. She really want to manage everyone. She said, why you got to manage me? He said, because she's like, did you cook dinner for the kids? He said, I fed them. He said, I fed them. She goes, that ain't cooking. They need to eat healthy. He says, what makes you think I can't buy no healthy food? I know you didn't buy no healthy food, Anthony, because you got them ashy knees. I know you didn't buy no healthy food, Anthony, because you don't even look like you eat healthy. You probably bought them some chicken nuggets from McDonald's. Latoya's bossy, all right. No wonder she tired. It is tiring bossing people around all day. She must boss them around at work, come home and boss Anthony around, and then boss her kids around too. No wonder she's tired, exhausted. Go lay down, girl. Go lay down. But let me tell you the saddest part of this whole show. The saddest part of this whole show was the scene with Kobe, Russell, and their little girl. And let me tell you who I wasn't feeling sorry for, Kobe. Yeah, I know Kobe was on there talking about her pelvic hurts, and, the doctor told her since it's her second child, she's going to have a lot of pain. And she was over there talking about how she got so much pain. And when she sit on the toilet, she feel like the baby's going to come out. Rah, 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 rah. Cue the violins for Miss Kobe. Now, we all know Kobe was hoping for a boy, really hoping for a boy. She wanted a boy because remember the story she told last episode was she wanted a boy because her daughter is so close and such a daddy's girl. She want a boy for her own that can love her because she feel like her daughter is too much team daddy. So instead, she wants a boy that's going to be team her and love on her. Do better, Kobe. Do better. But let me tell y'all, we thought it was going to get better, but it got worse this episode. Because what we really found out is, if you really pull back the layers of what Kobe is saying, having a girl is just an extra layer of it. It's almost like Kobe don't want no kids at all. I don't know what kind of conversations Kobe and Russell had before they got married, but obviously they didn't have a good enough conversation about how many kids they want. Do they want kids? Because when you listen to Kobe, when you really listen to what Kobe is saying is, before she even had the daughter, she didn't want a girl. She didn't want a girl because if you hear what she's talking about is even at the first gender reveal for the first daughter, she was depressed. So she never wanted a girl. And then we're finding out that she didn't even really want 2 kids. So what Colby really wanted probably was no kids at all, barely. And at most, she wanted 1 boy. Why the heck did Russell marry her? You could tell Russell wanted more than 1 child, multiple children. And here you have Colby, who really isn't that enthusiastic about having multiple children. And if you listen to what she was saying is she didn't want any girls at all. Then girl, what were you thinking, Colby? What kind of deal did Colby want? So Colby wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, to do whatever she wanted to do, have Russell pay all the bills. And at most, Colby wanted to give Russell 1 child only if that child was a boy. That's what she really wanted. Anything short of that, she was going to be depressed. Anything short of that, she was going to be depressed. So here we are, because she really did not want this for her life. This is sad. And I really feel sorry for that daughter, because now Colby is trying to say the reason she wants a boy is because the daughter is a daddy's girl. Nah, Colby, you wanted a boy from the very beginning. You never wanted a girl. And maybe what has happened is your daughter has sensed that energy, and maybe her nurturing is really coming from her father, and that's the reason she gravitated to her father. Did y'all see the scene when the daughter was trying to hand Colby a little yellow Post-it note, and Colby ignored the daughter? She didn't even take the Post-it note from the little girl. The girl was trying to hand her mother a Post-it note, and Colby didn't even take it, didn't even acknowledge the little daughter. When the daughter walked into the room, that daughter did go straight to that daddy and sat next to that daddy. But Colby never touched her daughter, never hugged her daughter, never kissed her daughter, never showed her daughter much affection at all. So that little girl goes to where the affection is. You see, Colby is trying to make everybody believe that the reason she doesn't want another girl is because her daughter is a daddy's girl. But if you listen to her story, she never wanted a girl in the beginning. Colby is already in competition with her daughter, and she didn't want another woman in the house, another female in the house that she would have to compete with, and she's upset about it. Colby wanted to be the queen in the house. She don't want no girls in the house, period, point blank. She don't want them there. Because what she said was the first time she was pregnant and she found out she was having a girl, she got a lot of nasty pushback on her bad attitude. Do better. Like I said, do better. She got pushback on people before, which means she had this attitude before she even knew her daughter was going to be a daddy's girl. So it don't have nothing to do with her being a daddy's girl. Maybe that's how the daughter became a daddy's girl, because she don't get no nurturing from her mother. Now her mother is sitting on here talking about girls are too much work. You got to do their hair. Ugh. So Colby wanted to do the bare minimum. The bare minimum, y'all. She wanted a boy that would be allegiance to her and her only. She didn't want to have to do no hair. She only wanted 1 child, and she wanted to be a stay-at-home mama, and she wanted her husband to go out and do all the work. And then she told her husband, and you're not no help with the kids. What, Colby? What kind of deal does Colby want? What does she want to do? She's beyond spoiled, y'all. Colby is beyond a spoiled brat. She's selfish and she's self-centered. She really needs to do better. She said the only reason she wanted to have this gender reveal was not for no happy occasion to usher the baby in. She only did it because she's a content creator, and she goes, "Ooh, this would be a good idea for content creation, so maybe I can make some money on it." Ugh. So she basically looked at this gender reveal of what sex her baby was going to be as simply a way to make money, not in conjunction with the reveal, but simply to make money. That's the only reason why she's doing it. Ugh. Do better, Colby. Do better. Black girls already got a complex about their hair. Now they got a mama on TV talking about, "I didn't want you because I don't want to have to do your hair." This is how black girls get raised to be independent and boys get coddled. This is how it happens, because Colby is already branding her daughter as too much work because I got to do her hair. And so what she's going to start teaching her daughter real soon is learn how to take care of yourself, because I really don't want to have to take care of you. So Colby going to teach her daughter how to be real independent. Even though she's sitting at home being dependent on her husband, she gonna raise a real independent daughter because Kobe ain't gonna want to do nothing for that daughter. Nothing. Because what Kobe is saying is the sooner you can do your own hair, the better. Because I don't want to do it even since before you was born. I was tired of doing your hair before you was even born. Ugh. That poor little girl. Russell said, well, I want a boy too. So maybe after this girl is born in 6 months, we can try again. And Kobe looked at him like, what? You already trapped me into having this child. What makes you think I want to have a third child? What kind of conversations did they have before they got married? They didn't have no conversations on what size family they wanted. Because this sounds like a whole new conversation. Like Russell just found out that Kobe really only wanted to have one child. You didn't find that out before you married her? She told Russell, you don't understand, Russell. You got time to do what you want to do. You can get up and go and do all these things. Like I said, Kobe don't want no kids. Kobe didn't want no kids. Kobe didn't want any kids. And the only reason she offered Russell one was because she knew there was no way he would marry her if she didn't want no kids. And then what he was thinking of was, she wants one, I'll convince her to have more. So here we are. That's really what the conversation was. Kobe never wanted to have no kids, not for real. But she knew she wasn't going to be able to be no stay-at-home wife with no kids. So she said, I'll be a stay-at-home wife with one kid and preferably a boy. This is a hot mess, y'all. This is a hot mess. She need to do better. She need to do way better. Do better, Kobe, before it's too late. Do better, because I already see the signs with your little girl. I see her gently trying to be around you, but lovingly around her dad. I do see it, but I see the cold shoulder by Kobe. She's acting like her daughter's just naturally drawn to that father. No, that daughter senses it. She senses the cold shoulder from her mother, because I saw it coming across this screen and I didn't like it. All these ladies need to do better, but especially Kobe, because Kobe's really affecting the life of a young girl. She needs to do better the most. It ain't nothing wrong with having a preference in gender for your child. Lots of women have a preference, but Kobe's just gone too far. The things she's saying, the things she's doing, the way she's treating her child is gone too far, and it's damaging. But anyway, tell me what y'all think down in the chat. So what do y'all think? Do you think all these ladies need to do better? Do you think Miss Dobine need to do better? Latoya needs to do better, and Kobe needs to do better? And if they need to do better, what do they need to do better with? Because I done said a lot, but I want to hear what y'all got to say. Anyway, that's it, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.